Um, but when like a couple of years ago, I had like this brain tumor experience, and like I thought I was gonna die, and it really put into perspective the things that matter to me. And the entire time that I was literally in the hospital, I was like, "Fuck, I'm never gonna release my music," um, and that was one of the most frustrating and most disappointing things for me, was to like be like, shit, like I spent the last 7 8 years studying crafting my musicianship, and now I literally can't even go out and play because I thought I was going to die. And then, you know, having survived all that situation, having a shift in my priorities, realizing, okay, music first, everything else second. Because to me, it was like I just kind of was given a new life almost, you know? And there's more reasons why I felt that way, not just because, oh, I survived this like this situation that I thought I was going to die from, but like there were physical changes in my body, in my brain, and my ability to see, my ability to sing, and like things that were happening that were preventing me from like being my full self because of the brain tumor. That once I got the surgery removed, like for example, I was losing vision. Like the tumor had gotten so big that I was losing peripheral vision, and I didn't realize it until it was getting really dire because it was so gradual. So the tumor itself had gotten so big that it was actually causing vision problems. It was actually suppressing my optic nerves, like pushing on my whatever nerves connects to my eyeballs.
Oh my God.
But when I went to get my eyes checked, they basically were like, "There's nothing wrong with your eyes, but you might want to go to the ER." I was like, "Okay." Um, and eventually they did scans, and they found that there was a tumor, like a brain tumor, and it was like, holy shit. Turned out not to be cancerous, thank God. Very weird, surreal thing to like be in a hospital bed, feel like you felt the last 2 years completely normal, or rather what your level of normal is at this point.
Sure.
And for them to be like, hey, you can't eat anything even though you haven't eaten anything all day. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, because if we find out that you have cancer, we have to operate on you in the morning. You can't have anything in your stomach. So I'm just like, are you like, I'm hangry, I'm upset,
Right.
annoyed. So I mean, it turned out that I didn't have cancer. It was a brain tumor in my pituitary gland, which affects all of your hormones. You should ask her, because like in my experience, so this is following 6 7 years of just constant headaches, right? That's one. That's number one, was just there was just constant headache that was all, like I just couldn't get rid of for like, I shit you not, like 7 8 years just straight.
Yeah. Wow.
I was pounding ibuprofen, pounding Tylenol every day just to get rid of a headache. And sometimes I'd get relief, but it really is just like right here in the back of the head where the neck and the that's just there. It was always there. Joint issues, all the other issues that happen when your body doesn't have proper hormones and stuff, and the vision stuff, peripheral vision. I didn't realize that I was also like losing color. Like I didn't realize
Oh.
how like dull colors had gotten for me, because it's so gradual, right? Like the vision was gradual, and then I'm assuming the loss of color was gradual, but I didn't notice over time until I woke up from the surgery and the tumor was gone. And I remember waking up from the surgery, and they're wheeling me to the ICU, like out of the operating room to the ICU. I'm slightly awake for this. And in the hallways, like I see this, we're passing this orange couch. And I'm like, that is the brightest orange I've ever seen. I remember looking at this couch, and I'm like, that's the brightest orange couch. That's the brightest color of orange I've ever seen. And then I'm like noticing, I'm like, I can see. And I'm like, I thought it was like I thought it was like 120-degree vision. I had like 100-degree vision. I had so much less vision than I thought I did. Had so much less color than I thought I did. And honestly, this probably was the drugs, but I didn't feel that headache anymore.
Like that's the fact that you went through all that and you pushed forward and you're doing what you love still is like, that's inspiring. That's
and everybody
awesome.
go check out the album Song of Recovery, which is what
This is
out of all of this as well.
Yeah. And the funny thing about that album was that I was still changing, like I was still recovering.
Yeah.
I thought it was like surgery, 6 months of recovery, and then I'm done. Nope. My body did not stop changing for like 2.5 years after the surgery. Yeah, because I think what it was my body was probably so starved of the hormones that it needed that like I went through a second growth spurt, like in 27, 28.
Kaleidoscoping your brain for 2 years.
Yeah, I guess so. But it was like, you know, it was strange that my body changed. In fact, it was weird. It really did feel like I felt like I was 18 again. It's so strange.
Okay.
But like between the ages of 18, 24, 25, it's so, I almost call it like I've lived 3